Local health officials have seen a lot of demand for the Johnson & Johnson single-dose coronavirus vaccine. I'm Zach Dodge with why that might be, coming up.
The Kansas governor issues an order aimed at encouraging Kansas counties to keep COVID-19 mask mandates, just to have it revoked hours later.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
With a number of vaccine options available, some 4-staters are holding out to get their preferred shot. This is KOAM News at 6. Local healthcare providers said they've had a number of calls and emails from residents specifically seeking out the Johnson & Johnson single-dose coronavirus vaccine. KOAM's Zach Dodge has why that might be and how it could have an impact on what doses go where.
Over the last several months, we've heard of vaccine shortages and gone through tiered phases dictating who's eligible for a vaccine. Now health officials are seeing something new.
We have had numerous calls wondering if we were going to have the Johnson & Johnson.
Several residents are specifically seeking out the Johnson & Johnson single-dose coronavirus vaccine. And it's not just in Crawford County or even Kansas.
We got some, we didn't get some. We had a wait list for it because people were refusing the Moderna vaccine.
We got 300 doses and we advertised on our Facebook page, and we filled that clinic within a few hours.
So we went to the Crawford County Health Department,
Ouch.
where a walk-in clinic was held using just the Johnson & Johnson vaccine to see why people showed up.
It's simple, quick, and it's effective, and I'm trying to do my part to slow the spread.
We've seen that Johnson & Johnson is equally effective at preventing death and hospitalization, so we thought it was sufficient, and you only need one shot.
It's nice that I get it over in one shot versus having to come back, but I was willing to do whatever.
We've had a couple people comment, on that they were really happy. They were waiting. They've been waiting to have the one dose available to them.
Crawford County did only have 100 doses sent to them, and other health departments are still waiting to receive more. So they recommend not waiting for a specific brand so that the other vaccine supply sent to the area isn't impacted.
If we're not using the vaccine that is supplied to us, there is a chance that our allotments will get cut back. CDC and KDHE are saying the best vaccine that you can get is the first one that's offered to you.
In Crawford County, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Crawford County Health Department administered 55 doses of vaccines at that clinic. The Crawford County, Kansas Health Officer, Chad Stebbins, is encouraging every adult to get a vaccine regardless of the brand. He says since the state entered the final phase, they've had trouble filling appointments and they're noticing some vaccine hesitancy.
We've done very well recently in the past couple of months, as a matter of fact, as far as our numbers going down. But if we don't continue the effort to vaccinate in our community, I fear that we'll have another spike.
Now today's KOAM News Now Insta poll, we're asking, will or did you seek a specific COVID vaccine? Your options are yes, no, any available, or I don't want a vaccine. You can participate at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. Results are updated live, and we're going to check in on them a little bit later in this broadcast. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly today issued an order aimed at encouraging Kansas counties to keep COVID-19 mask mandates. And then the Kansas Legislative Coordinating Council revoked that order. The Kansas law that took effect last week gives the top state lawmakers power to revoke an order issued by the governor because of a pandemic or other emergency. Lawmakers exercised that power today with a 5-2 vote. In a joint statement, the lawmakers said, in part, quote, public health mandates should be short-term data-driven and reserved only for pressing emergency situations. They went on to encourage Kansans to follow measures recommended by health professionals. The Economic Security Corporation is reopening its offices after shutting down due to the pandemic. There are some new rules in place. You shouldn't come in if you're sick. If you're not sick and you come in, you are required to wear a mask and sanitize your hands. The SC's office hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Checking in with Doug Heading now. A chilly start to the day, but turned out much better, Doug.
Yeah, we dropped all the way down into the upper 20s this morning, so we had a pretty good freeze across the region, and we did get into the mid 50s, but we're going to drop into the mid 30s once again tonight. So not as cold, but still cold enough that we're going to get kind of frosty across the region, so we got to watch out for that. Excuse me. But clear skies right now. In fact, the entire Central Plains, we have clear skies, so there's no big storm systems heading in our direction, at least over the next couple days, which is good. We get to stay nice and calm. Temperatures cooling down low to mid 50s across the region. We have these kind of light northeasterly winds kind of ushering in that cooler air. The winds are going to switch out of the south tomorrow, so that's going to help our temperatures out quite a bit over the next couple days. We're going to slide back through the 50s, 40s, 30s, down to about 33 later on tonight, of course. We're going to look into the holiday weekend here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. Thanks, Doug. There's a push in Barton County, Missouri to redistrict a few hundred acres of land from the Golden City R3 school district to the Lamar R1 school district. Now, in order for the redistricting to happen, both districts would have to agree by passing the measure on a ballot. And to get it on the ballot, 10% of the voters who voted in the last school board election have to approve it in each district. The area in question is roughly 320 acres and is home to only one current student.
I think it's one that communities in both Golden City and Lamar need to be aware of the details involved with it and understand what the vote is. But regardless of which way it goes, I think informed patrons is a very important part of the process.
Voters will decide on the redistricting during the elections this coming Tuesday. Still ahead, Pittsburgh area high schoolers put their engineering skills to the test in a bridge competition. And after a virtual break, Jomo Pride Week is returning in person. Pittsburgh and Girard High School students put their engineering skills to the test building bridges. And today they put those bridges to the test. This video provided by Pitt State shows today's bridge competition at Block 22's Pittsco Idea Shop. The students' bridges went through tests to see whether they held up to the task of being a bridge. Among the many four-state communities working to rebound from the pandemic are the drag scene in Jomo Pride, the Joplin-based LGBTQIA+ Alliance, and driving force behind Joplin's annual Pride Fest. With last year's celebration held virtually, the group plans to host the 2021 Pride Fest in person this summer. We caught up with Josh Dillard, an active member of the drag and pride communities. In the drag world, he goes by Shayna Towers and was named Miss Joplin Pride back in 2019. At the time, Dillard appeared as Towers on the KOAM Morning News to discuss drag culture, and he says he received messages from strangers, some critical, some supportive, and one from a mother that put his passion into perspective.
She said something to the effect of, "I wish my child had had a role model like you and the other entertainers. If that were the case, he wouldn't have taken his own life." What business do I have being anybody's role model, especially for something like that? And if I can just make somebody smile, make them happy to the point where that isn't their fate, then we've succeeded.
Jomo Pride will host its first fundraiser of the year, Drag Bingo, tomorrow at Blackthorn Pizza and Pub in Joplin. You can find more details about the event and watch our full conversation with Josh on our morning show page at KOAMNewsNow.com. Doug Heddy's up next with his complete forecast, and later a suspect is dead and an officer is recovering after a shooting in Independence, Missouri. What authorities are saying about that incident.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a very cold start this morning as we dropped into the upper 20s, but not bad this afternoon, mid-50s for highs, and we had plenty of sunshine, so that's always nice to see. But of course, we have more changes heading in our direction over the next few days, and still a cold night ahead for us tonight. Allergies have been high on a scale of 1 to 10. Today's a 10. Tomorrow is a 10 as well. This is mainly the tree allergies, but they're going to stay up there, at least the allergies, until we get a nice widespread rain to kind of clear out the atmosphere. Around the metro, most of us are sitting lower 50s. We have Neosho at 53, Commerce at 55, CJ at 54, Pittsburgh sitting at 53. A little bit warmer, though, as you get into our western counties. You got mid to upper 50s, but still chilly for this time of the year, as we should be going into the 60s each and every day. However, northerly winds been light, but one reason just kind of ushering in a little bit cooler air. But look out to the west, out across central parts of Kansas. You can see a south wind, so we are going to see those winds switching around for us tomorrow, and that's going to help our temperatures warm up. 53 right now, north winds at about 10, humidity is bone dry at 23%. We'll drop back through the 50s, 40s, 30s, mid-30s for us tonight. I think we'll stay just above freezing, but close enough that we're going to get a frost, so watch out for that. If you have any tender vegetation that can't take it, just like last night, cover it up or bring them inside as we have that frost advisory into the morning hours. Besides that, nothing going on. In fact, nothing going on across the entire Central Plains or out toward the west. It's pretty quiet. This is our weather over the next few days. Then you can start to see the storm systems getting going out across the Gulf of Alaska. Once these systems make it in, that's when we'll start to see some changes, but that's not going to be until early next week. It looks pretty quiet over the next few days. Through the overnight hours tonight, here's 3 a.m. You can see most of us dropping into the 30s at this point in time, mid-30s for lows, and then we're going to quickly warm up as we go through the morning hours. And temperatures for highs on Friday, pretty good. Look at Yates Center near 70, Oswego 67, Pitt 66. Let's drop south. Miami 67, Grand Lake about 67, and then low to mid 60s southwestern parts of Missouri, as Lockwood should make it up to about 65, 66 in Seneca. So here's your day planner for you. We drop into the mid 30s, clear skies through the night, mostly sunny skies for us tomorrow, and then we bounce into the mid 60s for highs tomorrow. So at least a little bit warmer than what we have seen over the past couple days. Heading into the weekend, continuing to warm up Saturday, mid 60s, a few more clouds. Clouds increase a little bit more on Easter Sunday. There's a very slight chance there could be a random shower on Easter Sunday, but I really think Easter Sunday looks good. If you're getting outside, social distancing with the family, it looks pretty good as temperatures are going to be upper 60s to near 70 degrees. 65 by noon, high temp right around 70, and then we'll start to see better rain chances as we go through next week. Bigger system moving in Wednesday and Thursday. Some of those may be strong to low-grade severe. Of course, we'll have the month-long tonight at 10. 64 tomorrow, 67 Saturday, 70 by Easter Sunday, 80 by next Wednesday.
Wow, looking forward to that month-long forecast tonight.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, Kansas City police say a mother is dead after a house fire, and now they're investigating it as suspicious. Missouri's State House yesterday formally condemned the U.S. Supreme Court's 1857 ruling denying U.S. citizenship to Dred Scott and other Black Americans. The House voted 152-0 in favor of the resolution, which describes the court decision as a negative legacy for the state. Now, Missouri's Supreme Court in 1852 ruled against Scott, a slave, in his bid to sue for his freedom. The U.S. Supreme Court in 1857 ruled 7-2 to uphold that decision, denying U.S. citizenship to Black Americans. Missouri lawmakers gave a standing ovation upon the passage of the resolution decrying that decision. An Independence, Missouri police officer is out of the hospital today after he was shot during an incident this morning which left a suspect dead. Investigators say it was a neighborhood fight that turned violent. Police were called to this house around 11:30 last night because someone was shooting into it. When officers got there, authorities say the suspect turned the rifle on them. That led to an officer getting shot in the head and police killing the shooter. Missouri Highway Patrol identified the gunman as 35-year-old Aaron Pausch. Investigators believe there was an ongoing feud between Pausch and his neighbors. They say there were threats of violence before. A man who lives nearby says that's part of the reason he's moving out of the neighborhood. A mother who lives across the street says she heard about 9 gunshots go off last night, but they thought that they were just fireworks. The officer who was shot is now recovering at home. Kansas City police say a woman has died and a child remained in critical condition after they were pulled from a house fire on Kansas City's southeast side. Firefighters were called to the scene around 5 p.m. yesterday by someone who called 911 seeking help. By the time officers arrived on the scene, firefighters had already found the woman and child inside the burning home. Both were taken to hospitals where the woman died. The child was listed in critical condition. Authorities have not yet released their names. Police say the fire and death are suspicious. Detectives with the police department's bomb and arson unit are investigating alongside the homicide detectives. Wichita police were not laughing today when a woman called her daughter and said she had been shot in what turned out to be an April Fool's Day prank. The woman's daughter notified 911 after her mother called and said she had been shot and then hung up. Wichita police say around 15 to 20 officers, firefighters, and EMS responded to the home in northeast Wichita. Officers wearing shields and with guns drawn broke down the door. Authorities say the mother was at work and had called her daughter as a prank. The mother could possibly face charges in that incident. It is April, and in Missouri that means it's No More Trash Month. It's coordinated by the Missouri Department of Transportation. During the annual statewide anti-litter event, volunteers are encouraged to clean up litter along Missouri's highways. It had been held annually since 2004 before last year's event was canceled due to the pandemic. Final check on the weather is next. Time to honor a couple of local veterans, Captain William McWilliams and his twin brother, Major Samuel McWilliams. The Verdella, Missouri native served during the Spanish-American War and World War I with the U.S. Army. And we are proud to salute William and Samuel McWilliams, tonight's four-state heroes. Now let's take another look at our KOAM News Now Instapoll. We told you earlier that a number of people are specifically seeking the one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine. We want to know, will or did you seek a specific COVID vaccine? 15% say yes, the majority, slightly, 52% say no, any vaccine available is fine. The rest, about a third, say they don't want any vaccine. Thanks for participating. That poll is now closed. An Atlanta donut shop came up with a new product that you either might find entirely disgusting or delightfully creative. Revolution Donuts calls the creation Shrimp Tail Cinnamon Toast. It's as a yeast-style donut topped with cinnamon vanilla glaze, cinnamon toast cereal, and a candy shrimp tail. They released it for just one day, April 1st, but no, it is not an April Fool's prank. It's actually real, apparently very popular. It was listed as sold out on the company's website by early afternoon. The release is a play on that recent story about a person who claimed to discover shrimp tails in a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. The company disputed that claim. Jordan Nobby joins us now with a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Tonight at 9, more local businesses say their customers are being targeted by scammers through Facebook. Plus, we're going to have the latest on investigations after a mass shooting in California yesterday. Also, many restaurants are reopening, but finding workers seems to be a big challenge. That and much more coming our way tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Thanks, Jordan. Doug, how about a final look at the weather?
All right, Dow, we do have a frost advisory once again in effect for us tonight as temperatures drop back into the mid-30s, so we'll hover right above freezing. Warming up, though, for us tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine, 64 back to 67 Saturday, and then on Easter Sunday, all the way up to 70 degrees, and we continue to warm up through next week.
See you at 10. Let's take care of ourselves and each other.